Hello, I'm Steve with Apogee Hardwood Cleaning. This is another video in our blog series. In this video, we're going to be going over reviving the past, the magic of screen and recoat on antique wood floors. Alright, so we're going to be talking about screen and recoat with antique wood floors. We have been doing a few of those in our business here. So basically, the screen and recoat is the key thing you want to do with an antique wood floor, because the screen and recoat cleans up the floor without removing the antique look. If you were to do a full refinish on a floor, antique floor, what you're doing is removing the entire top layer of the floor. And it's really going to make it look like a newer floor than it actually is. So the screen and recoat is really a unique thing to use for the antique floors. So what we do is we come in, we clean up the floor, we lightly sand, what we call screening the floor, so that it brings up some of the old wax and the stuff that's on the floor, but it preserves a lot of that antique look, the darker color look of the floors. And then we apply a new layer of polyurethane to the floor to preserve the floor for the future years and protect the floor from wearing down anymore. So why choose screen and recoats over like a sanding? Again, it's because we will preserve the originality look of the floor. We're typically less money than the sanding options. The screen and recoat is typically faster. It extends the life of the floor, and the polyurethane makes the floor look better. So the process of the screen and recoat, again, we go in and we screen it, which is preparing the floor, we clean it up, removing the dirt, grime, old hard wax, anything else that might be on the floor. We do a light sanding of the floor, which we call screening, because we don't actually use sanding pads, we use what's called screens. Then we clean it up, make sure the floor is nice and clean, again, to make sure all the dust and stuff that was generated by the screening is off the floor. And then we apply a new finish to the floor. Choosing the right finish is critical to any of the floors that we do. We want to make sure we have the best finishes available on the floor, and just makes the floor look better. So the benefits to the floor is not just because the floor looks great, it also adds a protective layer to the floor so that the floor is protected and good to go for many more years. When to screen and recoat? Well, ideally you want to screen and recoat every, the Wood Floor Association says every 3 to 5 years. I say every 5 to 7 years. It's typically when you want to do it. The antique floors that we have worked on have had many more years than that in between the refinishing. So whenever the floor is worn down, especially when it comes to antique floors, you definitely want to bring in a screen recoat expert to see what you can do. Being antique floors, you don't want to bring it back to perfection. So you want to talk to someone that knows, that has experience with doing these screen recoats, and see what the right thing is to do for the floor. If there's severe damage or something, your only real option may be going to sanding and refinishing the floor that way. But as long as there's not severe damage to the floor, screen and recoat is probably the best option to maintain the antique look on your floor. It will maintain a lot of the imperfections of the floor. So that's one thing to remember when you're doing the screen and recoat. It's not going to remove the imperfections. That's what you're trying to preserve with an antique floor. Alright, hopefully you found that useful. I do have a book out called A Guide for Hardwood Floor Care. It teaches you how to maintain your floor, tells you about the screen and recoat, the full sanding, wax removals, all the different problems you can run into with hardwood floors. Hopefully it will be very informative to you and help you out with your hardwood floors. Hopefully you found this article and this video helpful, and have a great day. Thank you.